All right, so quick engine update video. Got the Pro billet distributor installed and set to a base timing. If you remember in a previous video, we talked about locking it out so there's no mechanical advance. I also installed a phasable rotor, which is recommended by Phytech for their timing control for their computer systems. So we have set for what's going to be number 1 with the phasable rotor set, so that as the timing gets adjusted, it will go over and sweep towards the other side, and it's supposed to minimize arcing between them. The base timing that I found to start off with is 8 degrees. And we have up to 38 to 40 adjustable. All in timing will probably be between 32 and 38. It just depends. Every motor is a little bit different. So now that that's in and locked down, we can install the intake manifold. Also got a new alternator. I went with the 140 amp just from CVF Racing. It's in a slightly different case. You do have to shim it a little bit, so I have a single washer there for right now. I'm going to look at making a new one piece so that it's a little bit cleaner, but this is per CVF Racing's information. But now that that's in place and everything's lined up, I can measure for belts and get the belts ordered. And next we're going to be indexing the bell housing so that the clutch can get installed, bell housing and transmission, and then we can start setting it and lining it up and angling it into the frame. And for the Speedmaster intake to be installed, I forgot to mention you need to use studs, at least 4 on the inside, but you might as well buy the full stud pack because these overhangs are not going to allow you to put bolts down from the top. So for installation, when the distributor is already in place, because it's easier to see the position based on the lifters, you put the studs in, it'll allow you to come in and set it down, then you can put the others in no problem. So those have some ARP Ultra Torque on the threads going into the aluminum heads. Then we're going to run some black Ultima Black RTV on the front and end, set the intake on, and then we're going to put in the other studs and torque down the nuts. All right, so now we're working on the bell housing. We need to check it for parallel and make sure it's concentric. First was checking for parallel. The largest number I got was 2 thousandths, so that's well within spec. And now we're going to check for concentricity. 1.5 thousandths, 1.5 thousandths, 3 thousandths. That's my largest point. Re-zero where I hit the 3 thousandths. Flip it 180 degrees to see what your negative is. So I got negative 1 thousandths. Dividing that by 2 would give me 5 10 thousandths. Well within the 5 thousandths spec. So we are good to go with the standard dowels. So now this can come back off. The flywheel can come off. Put on the indexing plate for the starter. Flywheel back on. Clutch on and ready for transmission bolt up. All right, so we took the bell housing off, flywheel off, index plate is on, flywheel is back on, torqued to 85 foot-pounds with thread locker. I'm using orange, supposed to be stronger than blue and still removable. Next, we're going to do the clutch. All right, for the TKX, I'm going to install the hydraulic throwout bearing using part number 78132 from Ram. This is specific for the TKX for the Ford. Comes with a new collar, so you have to take the factory one off. Comes installed there. 4 1/2 inch bolts Pop them off, put on your new collar. This is the guide pin. Make sure that you put it in the right place so that when you install the throwout bearing, that your lines come out the correct side for the transmission. These get torqued to 12 to 16 pound-feet. This one, unless you've got a super deep socket, then probably just gonna have to give it by feel, but some Loctite on there and you should be good to go. All right, so setting the hydraulic throwout bearing, we're at 0.1945, which is between the 0.150 and 0.250 that RAM recommends. The RAM comes with a short cable for bleeding with a bleeder valve. Silver Sport transmission that sells the bell housing also sells this block-off plate. Comes with one hole and a grommet. Had to drill another hole. I'll need to get another grommet because this throwout bearing has 2 lines. So what we did is we bought this kit 910-1484 from Speedway Motors. These are the other parts. Comes with a hose, some fittings, and a 3/4 inch gurney style compact master cylinder from Willwood. This is the master cylinder that's actually recommended by Ram clutches to fit their throwout bearing and their clutch. So since everything's measured, lined up, and adjusted, put the bell housing on the transmission side. You can see the throwout bearing in there. Clutch is installed. So we're gonna work on putting the two together. Okay, so for the pedal box, made a template. Transfer the template to mark out where we're gonna cut. This is the original scribe line for how much they wanted you to cut out for the pedal box. I just wanna make room for the pedals, keep as much strength in there as possible. This is where the edge is gonna go. So we're gonna Dremel that out. There's a cutout for the steering to pass through, cutout for the throttle linkage. So we're gonna cut this out, try to set the pedal box in. All right, so nothing special. Cut out the marks. And that's where she's gonna sit. Drill and do some bolt holes going through on the sides on the other side. Cut that guy out. I'm gonna also do that smaller. That one will get the full circle. On the inside, I'm going to use some metal just like this to sandwich on the other side. Keep it reinforced for every part that actually bolts through the fiberglass footbox. So this is what the pedal box looks like from inside. You can see the support plates to reinforce everything, and the clearance tried to minimize as much as possible to maintain strength.